When you don't know what to do, your real work begins. And when you don't know which way to go, your real journey begins. Have you ever felt like you don't know what to do? Have you reached a point in your life that you don't know which decision to take? Have you ever felt that all doors are closed in your face? Have you ever felt that you have several paths ahead of you, but you do not know which path to take? Ahmed is a middle-aged young man who used to work in a large pharmaceutical company, and he thought that he was safe and that his bosses at work were happy to have him with them, but something happened that he did not expect at all. His direct manager asked him to work and told him to terminate his work in the company for reasons beyond their control. Ahmed did not understand what was happening to him. And why does it happen to him? He believed that he was doing his job in the best way. Surprise 5 was very severe for him, so he did not comment on the decision, but rather thanked the manager and left and returned to his home on foot, even though his house was about 20 miles away from the place of work. He arrived at his house after 2 hours of walking, but he did not feel it. His mother met him with her usual smile and asked him about his day. Ahmed did not answer, but went to his room and closed the door on him, and his mother tried to enter, but he wanted to be alone. After 3 hours, Ahmed came out and sat with the family without saying anything. The father asked him what was happening and why he was behaving in this way. Ahmed replied, I don't know, Father, what happened? And why did it happen? I no longer know how to think or what to do. As for Khamis, he proposed to his cousin's engagement, and her family agreed, on the condition that he prepare the necessary apartment for that, and with the furniture that suits their father, and Khamis agreed, and the engagement took place, and he was very happy. Engagement for the sake of his daughter's reputation and future. Khamis was shocked by the decision and turned to his fiancée, but she did not stand with him, but rather supported the father's opinion. Khamis separated from his fiancée, his beloved, and his future, so he sat on the seashore crying and saying to himself, I no longer know how to think or what to do. As for Karima, she made a great effort in studying because her dream since childhood is to be a doctor who helps the largest possible number of people. The time for the exam came and fear was completely controlling her. She was unable to solve all the exam questions. Commerce College. She felt that the dreams of her life had been shattered, and she had to decide what to do. Should she repeat the year and try again in order to obtain the grades that would qualify her to enter the Faculty of Medicine and achieve her dream, or accept reality and enter the Faculty of Commerce? What made matters more complicated was that a young man from a respectable, educated, religious, and handsome family proposed to her, but he wanted to get married quickly and travel with his wife to America. Asked the father, What do you intend to do, Karima? Karima replied, I don't know how to think, Father, and I don't know what to do. As for Siham, she got married and immigrated to Australia with her husband, who had been living there for 10 years. He wanted a wife who did not work and did not care about a professional life, but rather a wife who took care of her home, gave birth, and devoted her life to her family. God Almighty blessed them with 3 children, and her life was somewhat stable, but she was not happy. Because she left her dream of being a lecturer at the university and educator of a generation and doing something of value besides the family value. The couple quarreled a lot, so their life became a series of challenges and difficulties. One day the husband decided to separate from her. Indeed, the divorce took place, and Siham became alone with her 3 children, not knowing what to do or how. Do you think about which way to go, and do you stay in Australia or return to your city? These 4 stories are nothing but examples of what happens in the life of every human being. We may find a young athlete suffering from a serious illness and not knowing what to do, how to think, or which path to take. Or do we find the woman who invested all her money in the stock market, then lost everything and no longer knows what to do, how to think, or which way to take? Or do you find a young man who is afraid of marriage and engagement, but at the same time he wants to be independent, get married, and have a family that he takes care of and is happy with, and no longer knows how to think, what to do, or what path to take? Here the real action begins. Why don't you realize that there is a change that must happen in your life, whether it is in a job that you can no longer tolerate, or in a very bad marital relationship that makes you miserable, or overweight that you can no longer bear, or in a negative friendship in which you only find lost, or in a very bad habit, such as addiction of all kinds, whether it is smoking, drugs, alcohol, money, love, relationships, sex, watching TV for long hours, backbiting, gossip, excessive nervousness, and other negative behaviors that lived with you for a long time until they became part of you and made you live without really thinking about the pain it causes you or the great loss it causes you, whether it be in the short or long term. You now realize that change must happen, and thus awakening from the deep sleep that you were in, so you start thinking about how to get out of these challenges, put yourself in action, commit to it, and insist on it, whatever the challenges and whatever the influences are. Only here begins your real work, in which you use your unlimited capabilities that God Almighty gave it to you, and you use the power of your mind, your intellect, your studies, your readings, and your experiences in life. This is what I call the real work that really begins when you find yourself living with the current that takes you as it wants, so you feel lost and miserable. So you wake up and clean the dust around you and think about a way out. This is where positive thinking begins. Positive action. This is where your real work begins, and when you feel that you are standing at a crossroads and do not know which path to take, then trust in God Almighty and think in a positive way and take the reasons and use the capabilities and resources here only to begin your real journey. The journey of wisdom, the journey of success, the journey of happiness. Now, let me ask you, are you really ready to make the necessary change in your life to feel the happiness you want? Are you ready to face the reality that you are living now and that you did not expect at all? Are you ready to take full responsibility and start taking action and insist on it, regardless of the influences? Are you ready for a fresh start? It's time, right? Why now? Because this moment is very precious, and it may be the last, so what you do with it is very important, so you should not waste it in negative thinking, negative feelings, mental and physical illnesses, and suffering in order to achieve your goals and live your dreams. In order to live a balanced and happy spiritual life in which you enjoy inner peace, psychological calm, and peace of mind. Now is the time to work and strive to achieve the goals and dreams you want, so start now, and put your trust in God and make sure that God Almighty does not waste the reward of the best work. Be sure that you will go through a difficult time when you will not know what to do, how to think, or which path to take. Do not panic and do not worry, as it is necessary for your real work to begin, for you to realize your true capabilities, for you to use your capabilities and resources, and to awaken the sleeping genie within you and achieve goals that you did not expect that you could achieve, and for you to live the life that you were created to live, God willing. If you liked the video, join us now, subscribe to our channel, be part of our family, and don't forget to share the video with your friends.